Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the C Morning Show. It is just past 8 in the a.m., and it's leading us right into our second discussion. We first have some numbers to share with you. We're not sure if you're aware or not, but on average, 60% of employees have at least one active loan within the past year. Many are also trapped in a cycle of debt and due to unexpected expenses during these challenging times. So, how do we maintain full control over our monthly wages and, more importantly, access them whenever we need?
All right, so the answer is here. Look no further than Gajigesa that has arrived, a fintech platform that helps millions of hardworking Indonesians taking control of their financial lives with dignity. We're going to explore Gajigesa right now with CEO Vidit Agrawal. Thank you so much, Vidit, for coming here in our studio.
Good morning.
Thanks a lot. Good morning, and thanks for having me here.
Yeah. So Gajigesa is classified as a financial wellness. I love these two words together, financial and wellness platform.
Right.
Can you please elaborate more of this platform of yours?
So just to give you some data, there are 140 million Indonesians who are formally employed. 80% of them qualify as working poor, which means they make less than 10 million per month. A lot of them are in tier 2, tier 3 cities, towns, villages, and often not very well educated.
Right.
Now, there is cases like you yourself said, 60% of them require money, unexpected expenses.
Yes.
And in those cases, they have two options. One, to go to their employer and request for money, as we call it, cash bond. And it's up to the employer, they may or may not get it.
Right.
And the second is pinjol, right? Go to a local predatory lender and say, I need the money. It could be because my child is sick. And in that scenario, often people don't even understand what they're paying for.
Yeah.
So there may be a case I get 500,000 on Monday, and then 700,000 I have to return on Friday.
Yes.
If you do the math, it's exorbitant.
Huge interest
Yeah.
rates.
Exactly.
Okay.
So in our case, we partner with the employer to provide their employees with full control of their wages. When we think about a product, we think about it in three folds, as we said, financial wellness. First is financial education. So every employee should understand their need of the capital. They should be able to plan their finances.
Yes.
Second is financial resilience. They shouldn't be going and borrowing money each time they need capital.
Yeah.
And third is financial savviness, to be able to save, to be able to invest, and to be able to build a better future for themselves and their families.
Okay. All three
Wellness,
things that we're
educated,
striving
everything
for.
put together, yeah.
You provide all three of these, so let's break it down one by one. When it comes to your wages, a lot of people struggle, especially with the working poor, struggle to wait until that extra. We even had a term for it, old date, new date, tanggal tua, tanggal.
Yes.
Exactly.
Where it's like getting close to payday and we're running out of money. This is not a lending platform, but what's interesting is it allows employees to access what they have already earned up to that point, correct?
Absolutely.
And this can be decided upon by the employers and how they want to tailor their Gajigesa platform for that particular company.
Right.
But in regards to other features that you also offer, can you explain some of them as well? Because there are a whole bunch that we went through just now. I'd like for our viewers to know as well.
Yeah, so Gajigesa is a B2B2C platform.
Okay.
Let me say it in layman's terms. We partner with the employer, and then their employees can withdraw their salary whenever they want.
Right.
So very simple. We onboard an employer. They give access to their employees. Then the employees can log into Gajigesa app with the OTP verification, and then they can withdraw, like you said, their earned salary.
Okay.
But it's not limited to that. They can also top up their e-wallets. All e-wallets in Indonesia. They can buy Pulsa, they can buy data packets, they can buy vouchers, they can pay for electricity bill, they can pay for water bill. They can also remit funds to their families. So if I am working in Jakarta and my son, my daughter is in Malang and I need to top up their phone, instantly it's done on Gajigesa. Okay. And whatever I withdraw through the month for all these services gets deducted from my payroll.
Okay.
So say I make 3 million and I've withdrawn 1.9 million for all the services. At the end of the month, my employer will just pay me 1.1.
Okay.
Oh, so I understand now.
So you get your
I love
balance,
that,
right?
Yes.
So this can literally change the landscape of how we view like monthly wages, because a lot of times people are just planning and you have to like be so disciplined, where this kind of gives a little bit more leeway. Do you see this as a good thing when it comes to being the habitual creatures we are financially? Do you think this is going to help us be able to live our lifestyles with a little more freedom? Or could it create some bad habits where I'm just like spending my money all the time and then I'm not getting my paycheck at the end of the month that I was expecting or I'm used to?
No, great question. And I think two parts to that. First of all, how was the salary defined?
Okay.
Many, many years ago, multiple decades ago, somebody said that the salary needs to be a monthly cycle just for the ease of their own work. Right? We are revolutionizing how we think about payroll.
Okay.
Why does it have to be monthly here or in the US twice a month? We should be able to get our money because it's rightfully ours. We've finished
Right.
If you've
a
done
day
the
of
work
work.
for the day.
You've done the work,
Yes.
it's your money.
Okay.
So that is the core concept. But at the same time, a lot of the product is designed for blue-collar workers who often don't have access to banking loans. They do not have access to credit card. And they're always going to these lenders who are very predatory in nature. We were talking to me and my co-founder, who's my wife, Martina, we were talking to one of the users. And very unfortunate, she said, I was born poor and I'll die poor. It really broke our heart, right? Like, because people are not educated, they're not getting access to the best financial products, and they're paying 15, 20, 30%. So per month, not per year.
Yeah.
So our product is designed for those users where the employer has the will, has the intention to do well for them, and giving them access when it needs.
Okay.
So I know it's very interesting that actually Gajigesa was established in 2021. Actually, it's introduced to the public itself during the pandemic at that time. And so it's very interesting. And I'm also very curious, how was the response at that time? Because we know life was shifting during those moments.
And by the way, you threw out the number. How many end users do you have like that right now?
We have over 500,000 users today.
Wow.
Working with 300 enterprises across Indonesia.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
But 2020 was fascinating and a crazy year for all of us,
Right.
including us, right?
Yeah.
Me and Martina were sitting in a balcony, and we were thinking about life, and we were like, we want to start something, and we want to have impact on the ground. Both in our previous roles, we had dealt with blue-collar workers. Either they were drivers in my role, or she was in factories trying to credit score the workers. So we wanted to build something that is going to improve the lives of workers. And we packed our bags, took a one-way ticket, and landed up in Jakarta in the middle of COVID.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, when we spoke to factories, a lot of factories and businesses were struggling.
Yes.
They wanted to do well for their employees. So often, unfortunately, they had to do cost cutting, which meant that a lot of workers had to take a cut or did not get overtime or were working 4 days a week. A lot of the benefits were taken away, not just in factories, across the board. We all felt it. So when we introduced the concept of Gajigesa, employers knew that their employees needed something. The cash was tight. Medical expenses was one of the biggest reasons of withdrawal on Gajigesa. So we got very good response. And we started with the Jakarta market, but today we are present in multiple markets, especially in tier 2, tier 3 cities, where there is immediate impact in the lives of workers.
Right. And could I arguably say that this can be a benefit for, I guess, depending on what kind of company you have that's using this service, but wouldn't it be less of a financial burden for a company to not have to pay these huge chunks of wages once a month and perhaps streamline their finances even better this way once you get more used to this kind of system where some employees are just going to want their salary a bit sooner, but that could perhaps alleviate some, is that is that part of the feedback?
Absolutely. Okay. So when we talk to the employers, Castborn is something which is part of the Indonesian culture.
Very much so.
You do it for your helper, you do it for all the support team, you do it for your employees. So when you think about a business, when an employee comes and requests for Castborn, not only, even if they can provide the money, it could be very tough on accounting. Think of all those line items one needs to remember, the HR needs to remember, needs to talk to payroll. Right. Some are forgotten, then you have to chase your employee. It is a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
So when we talk to the employer and we show them the services, they're like, we're already doing it. Why don't you take all the hard work, all the pain points from us, and we just take over and run the program for them?
Brilliant.
So employers are actually very happy with what we're offering.
Definitely, and it was just within 2 years. I mean, in regards to your platform itself, is there any further services that you think that you're going to create or innovate within this? Even though you already have a large spectrum of it right now.
No, absolutely. Like, we want to be that everyday app for blue-collar workers across Indonesia.
Yes.
Whatever financial needs they have, they should think about Gajigesa.
Yeah.
Right? So today we are largely focused on providing products that they can buy. But our vision is a lot around building around savings and investments. We're very soon launching gold investments where they can buy gold. So any money which they put under the pillow and hide it there, just buy e-gold and let it sit on Gajigesa.
And gold is such a great product, you know, for anyone, I guess, you know, from any tier would understand that is a great investment.
So can this be also used as perhaps a credit background for the future? For example, I have no credit and I'm a blue-collar worker, but perhaps by being able to show that I have some savings there, putting it away once a month without me even realizing it, using Gajigesa could be perhaps something in the future if I wanted to get a small loan or a credit card where they could they see that? Would that be accessible that, oh, this person was able to save or he has pretty good history when it comes to
That's a brilliant point. You should become our advisor.
I just think it's such a wonderful idea. It's solving a problem that's been around for ages.
He's in the financial industry, by the way.
It's using a solution that's already there.
That's true.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So blue-collar workers do not have any kind of credit history.
Right.
Because of that, they're not able to avail loans.
Yeah, it's very ironic. It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yes.
So once we start building this credit score, we would be able, today we don't do it, but that could be productized over time as we scale, and we should be able to offer it to other financial institutions to allow them to lend to workers, which they're not doing today. On the same lines, it's very interesting, often when an employee leaves Factory A and joins Factory B, and both of them are on Gajigesa, Factory B reaches out to us and says, can I do background check on this worker? So again, this is something we can productize in the future. We don't have it today. But because we're building the employment history and we have the data, which is very powerful, which is your payroll data, right, we are able to verify the existence and the payroll of this individual. So that's another opportunity for us to build in the future.
There you go. Get in now, guys.
Well, you know, credit is very different than, you know, back in the U.S. because we're used to it. Since we were young, we need to, you know, we have to have our credits.
We knew for the right.
But not here. I think this is not a customary.
Well, it's a little different. I built my credit using a pre-approved credit card. Like I was already pre-approved. They're like, here you go. You can have a very small limit. I remember it was like $500 at the time. But I used that, and then eventually I was able, because I didn't default on anything, use that as a credit score. And most people don't have that opportunity here.
Exactly. When we think about blue-collar workers, like credit card is something they don't even imagine.
No.
But it's like simple financial products like home loan, which is an asset-backed product, or a motorbike loan. They would be able to get these loans just because they have some sort of credit history. And the interest rates would be better. So what we're building could be very powerful in the future.
Put them less in the high-risk category.
Exactly.
Wow. Vidit, thank you so much for coming by and sharing.
Pleasure's all mine.
Can you share with us where your balcony was with right now? I want to go there and, you know, refresh my mind.
Credit to my wife.
I know.
Well, best of luck, and hope that this becomes a new way for people to be able to look at finances and look at salaries, because I think it's a great solution.
And seeing it also in a positive light, because sometimes when we're thinking about numbers and financials, you know, stuff, people are so scared about it, right?
Oh,
now this
intimidating.
just enter,
Money can be intimidating.
Very much so, but I love it nevertheless. All right, we got to take another short break here, guys, on the C Morning Show. But in case you joined us late, don't worry. We will recap some of our earlier stories just for you. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was amazing.